Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something truly historic. Happening right now, actually, but it feels like, science fiction becoming fact.
It really does.
We're talking June 26th, 2025. Picture this. Way up there, orbiting Earth, you've got a SpaceX Dragon.
Sleek machine.
Totally. And it's doing this incredibly careful dance, getting ready to dock with the International Space Station.
Precision flying at its absolute peak.
And the person piloting this, Shubhanshu Shukla, an Indian astronaut. And this is the big one. He's just become the first Indian ever to pilot a spacecraft to the ISS.
It's a huge moment, monumental, really, for India's space program.
Absolutely. So today we're going to, really get into why this mission right now is so important. We'll look at his journey, what this means for India, and maybe what it signals for space exploration generally.
And it's fascinating because it's not happening in isolation, is it? This is part of the Axiom-4 mission.
Right, the private astronaut mission.
Oh, exactly. A private venture, but look at the crew. It's incredibly international. You've got Japan involved, Russia, the U.S., Poland, Hungary.
Wow.
It's this amazing melting pot of expertise orbiting the Earth together. A real symbol of collaboration, I think.
That's a great point. And that's what we want to do in this deep dive, go beyond just the headlines. We want to explore the story behind it, the person, the context, the ripple effects. So yeah, let's unpack this whole thing.
Let's do it.
Okay, Shubhanshu Shukla. His background alone is pretty incredible, isn't it? It's fascinating just tracing how he grew from, his early days to piloting a spaceship. What stands out to you about his path?
Well, his foundations are really solid. Born back in '85, October 10th in Lucknow.
Okay.
And he built this really distinguished career in the Indian Air Force, became a group captain.
That's a senior rank?
It is. And crucially, he wasn't just any pilot. He's a seasoned test pilot. That's a different level of skill and understanding.
Oh, right. Test pilots really push the limits.
Exactly. They have to understand the engineering, the aerodynamics, how things can go wrong, how to recover, and look at the hours, over 2,000 flight hours.
That's a lot of time in the air.
It is, and not just on one type of plane. He's flown the Su-30 MKI, the MiGs 21 and 29, the Jaguar, Hawk, even transport aircraft like the Dornier 228 and the AN-32.
That's quite the list.
Yeah.
So incredible versatility.
That's the key word. Versatility, understanding different systems, different flight envelopes. That kind of experience, it translates incredibly well to handling something as complex and unique as a spacecraft.
Makes sense. And wasn't there a specific moment that really set him on this path? Something about the Kargil War.
Yes, that seems to be a pivotal point. The 1999 Kargil War apparently inspired him deeply towards a military career.
Right.
So after that, he went for the UPSC NDA exam, that's the National Defense Academy entrance, highly competitive in India, passed that, completed his training by 2005, and then got commissioned into the fighter stream in June 2006. So you see this clear trajectory, this dedication from a young age. Discipline, intense training, it all builds up.
Yeah, you can really see the foundation being laid there. So how does this specific mission, Axiom-4, fit into India's bigger picture, especially with their own human spaceflight plans?
That's the really interesting connection. He was actually selected back in 2019 for Gaganyaan.
Gaganyaan, that's India's own mission, right? Their first crewed one.
Exactly. Slated for, I think, 2027 currently. So his flight now on Axiom-4 isn't just a personal achievement, amazing as that is. It's serving as a critical precursor.
Like a dress rehearsal.
In a way, yes, a very high-stakes one. He's gaining invaluable hands-on experience, orbital mechanics in practice, living in microgravity, operating the systems.
Stuff you can't fully simulate on the ground.
Precisely. And all that experience feeds directly back into the Gaganyaan program, helping India prepare, refine procedures, understand the human factors involved in commercial spacecraft. It gives them real-world data.
Got it. So it's a stepping stone, a vital one. Despite all this high-tech, high-pressure stuff, I heard he has a nickname, Shooks.
Yeah, Shooks. It's kind of nice. Adds that human touch, doesn't it?
It does. Makes him seem a bit more relatable, even while he's, docking a spaceship.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk more about the mission itself, Axiom-4. You mentioned the international crew. Who else is up there with him?
Right. It's a really impressive lineup showing this blend of private enterprise and international cooperation. It's led by Axiom Space, but with major partners like JAXA, the Japanese agency, and Roscosmos, the Russian agency.
Okay.
The commander is Peggy Whitson from the U.S. I mean, her record is just staggering.
She spent a lot of time in space, right?
Over 675 days. This is her third trip to the ISS. Just incredible experience.
Wow.
And then you also have Slavos Uznanski-Wisniewski from Poland and Tibor Kapu from Hungary. So it's this truly global team working together.
That really is a melting pot, as you called it. And the docking itself, that sounds like pure precision.
Oh, absolutely. Orbital mechanics writ large. The sequence was textbook, mostly. You had the soft docking, that initial gentle contact that happened right on schedule, 4:01 p.m.
Okay.
Then the hard docking, where everything gets securely locked together, that completed at 4:01 p.m. And all this while they're soaring over the North Atlantic.
It just boggles the mind, the engineering involved to link up two objects moving that fast.
It really does. But, space always keeps you on your toes.
Oh, what happened?
Well, shortly after they achieved hard dock, there was apparently a minor technical alert. Some kind of sensor reading or system check that wasn't quite right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing major, it seems, but they had to troubleshoot it immediately. And that actually delayed the hash opening by about 5 minutes.
5 minutes doesn't sound like much, but I guess up there.
Up there, any unexpected alert gets your full attention. 5 minutes sorting out a potential issue can feel, well, pretty intense. It just highlights that constant need for vigilance and quick thinking.
Absolutely. Still, sounds like Shubhanshu or Shuks took it all in stride. What was his first reaction once they were safely docked and inside?
Remarkably cool, it seems. He was officially astronaut number 634, by the way.
Right.
And he described the ride up on the Dragon as simply wonderful. And he mentioned feeling really welcomed by the Expedition 73 crew already on the station.
That's great to hear. That camaraderie must be pretty special.
I think so. Shared experience, shared environment, transcends borders up there.
And didn't he have a pretty powerful first message from orbit?
He did. Very potent. He said, "On my shoulder, I carry the Indian flag."
Wow.
Yeah. And then, this is the beginning of India's human spaceflight. Really captures the weight of the moment for India. The pride, the ambition. It's symbolic, a clear statement.
That gives you chills. So they're up there now for about 2 weeks, 14 days.
That's the plan, yes.
And it's not just about the ride up and the symbolism. They have work to do, right? Science.
Oh, absolutely. The core purpose is research. They've got a packed schedule of scientific experiments.
What kind of things are they looking into?
It's pretty diverse. A lot focuses on leveraging that unique microgravity environment. Things like material science. Can you create new alloys or pure crystals up there that you just can't make on Earth because gravity interferes?
Ah, interesting. Potential for new technologies.
Exactly. Lighter, stronger materials, maybe better semiconductors, more efficient solar cells. Then there's a huge amount of biological and medical research.
How the body reacts.
Yeah, how the human body adapts or maladapts to weightlessness, studying bone density loss, muscle atrophy, fluid shifts. It gives us insights into aging processes and diseases like osteoporosis back here on Earth, plus potential for developing new drugs or treatments.
So the benefits could eventually ripple down to healthcare and tech back home.
That's the hope. Even things like agriculture, could we learn things about plant growth and microgravity that help us improve crops on Earth?
Space tomatoes.
Maybe. Why not?
And I heard Shubhanshu also wanted to sort of showcase Indian culture up there.
Yes, that seems to be a personal goal, too, adding that cultural dimension.
I was picturing like zero gravity yoga. Can you imagine downward dog
Yeah.
floating in space?
That would be quite a sight. But yeah, it's about representing India, not just scientifically, but culturally, too.
It adds another layer.
Yeah.
And he really emphasized the time gap, didn't he, since the last Indian flew?
He did. He mentioned being back in space after 41 years, referencing Rakesh Sharma's flight back in 1984.
41 years. That's a long time.
It is. And he also gave that amazing sense of speed, saying, right now we are orbiting Earth at a speed of 7.5 kilometers per
A
second.
second. Just wow. Puts it in perspective.
Definitely. And understanding that 41-year gap is key to seeing why this flight is such a big deal. India's been incredibly successful with robotic missions lately. Chandrayaan-3 landing on the moon last year was huge.
Absolutely massive achievement.
But sending humans, and especially piloting a craft, is a whole different ballgame, as you know. It requires different technologies, life support, much more complex safety protocols.
Way more complex.
Mm-hmm.
So Rakesh Sharma flew on a Soviet mission, but Shukla is piloting this Axiom-4 mission to the ISS.
Exactly. That piloting role and the context of preparing for Gaganyaan makes this a significant step up in capability and experience for India.
So building on Chandrayaan's success, but in the human spaceflight arena.
Precisely. Gaganyaan is the big goal, and this Axiom flight is Shubhanshu getting that crucial operational experience. It's not just flight hours. It's about understanding the systems, the procedures, living and working in orbit, collecting all that data to make Gaganyans safer and more successful.
Building that institutional knowledge base.
Yes. It's about validating everything in the real environment.
Of course, we talk about the excitement, but spaceflight is inherently risky, isn't it? There are real challenges.
Oh, absolutely. We shouldn't gloss over that. The physical toll is significant. Zero gravity affects bone density, muscle mass, vision, cardiovascular system.
All right, the body isn't designed for it long term.
Nope. And then there's the psychological side. Isolation, confinement, being so far from Earth, the constant awareness of the danger, it takes immense mental strength.
And as that little technical hiccup showed, you're always reliant on complex machinery working perfectly in a very hostile environment.
Always. The risk of technical failure is ever present. So the courage of astronauts like Shukla pushing those boundaries despite the risks is just remarkable.
It really is. You imagine him maybe even doing a spacewalk eventually, floating out there with the Earth hanging below.
That would be the ultimate view, wouldn't it? Like something out of a movie, but completely real.
Space selfies required.
Yeah.
But beyond the individual bravery, what are the broader implications here? You mentioned commercial spaceflight earlier.
Yeah, I think this mission really highlights that trend. Private companies like Axiom-4 are playing increasingly important roles, collaborating with national agencies. It potentially opens doors for more people, more types of missions.
Like space tourism becoming more mainstream eventually.
It's certainly pointing in that direction. Maybe not tomorrow, but missions like this are paving the way, making it seem less like science fiction and more like an eventual possibility. Visiting the ISS, maybe even orbiting the moon. Who knows?
Space vacations, the ultimate getaway.
Perhaps. But underpinning all of this is the ISS itself.
Right, the ultimate symbol of cooperation.
Absolutely. Continuously inhabited since the year 2000. 16 countries involved. Over 23 years of non-stop science and collaboration up there. It's an incredible testament to what we can do when we work together.
A powerful reminder, especially now, that the sky really isn't the limit.
It's just the beginning.
So wrapping up our deep dive today, it's been quite a journey just talking about it. Shubhanshu Shukla, up there right now, orbiting Earth. He's carrying more than just himself and the Indian flag.
He's carrying the hopes of, 1.4 billion people? It signifies a really exciting new phase for India in space, a renewed focus on human exploration.
Yeah, building on their incredible robotic achievements.
Yeah. And it really is this fascinating mix, isn't it? You've got the cutting-edge science, the deep sense of national pride, but also this fundamental international collaboration making it all happen.
It's a powerful combination.
Yeah.
A real testament to human curiosity and our drive to explore, to reach beyond what we thought was possible.
Exactly. It shows how pushing those boundaries expands everything, our knowledge, our capabilities, our perspective.
So as we think about Shubhanshu Shukla pushing those boundaries way up there and the whole future of space exploration unfolding, maybe a final thought for you, our listeners. What new frontiers, maybe closer to home, are you curious to explore in your own world? Knowing that perhaps the only real limits are the ones we place on ourselves.